Alright, well, we did a little angle work. This, from this point here to this point here is the length of the cooler, and from here to here is just a little bit more than halfway. But we took out the bottom part. That takes a pretty nice bend. We'll secure that a little bit later, because what we're going to do is we're going to take here and the one that goes on this side, and we'll tie those two together. That'll force it into square. We'll take and we'll nibble out this section here, and then I'm going to have to do that one more time. I've got one of them marked. Once that's marked, then we can lay it down, and we can come over here and we can mark that side. And the tool of choice, it's pretty effective. Could have used a grinding wheel, but the flat disc has shown itself to be pretty useful, so I'm using the flat disc in this case. And you can see the edges aren't perfectly square, but they come together pretty well. And that small difference won't make a bit of difference when I'm done, because this is getting skinned anyway with something else. As you can see, the second cut is much cleaner than the first. So I learned a little bit something doing the first one and improved my technique on the second. And what I did was nibble in, come over here, nibble in, come over here, nibble in, and keep working my way down until I'm really close to that V. And I may have to take just a hair more because I need it to be all the way to the flat here. So I'll get after that, and I'll talk to you guys in a couple minutes. Well, as per normal, there were complications. That joint is a nice 45. This is a nice 45. That had to be assisted a little bit. And surprisingly, this little guy, not designed for aluminum, used for wood, was very helpful because of how thin the blade was. So I bent it around, I fit it to the cooler, and I figured out about where it meets up, and it meets up right there, so I'll cut that. So I used the flat disc to cut a good groove in it, and then I'll use the coping saw to finish the job. I already started a little bit, and you can see how easy it cuts in now, and the groove helps. So with that end trimmed off and rough cut at the moment, I'll get back to a little bit of work with the flat disc. We'll shape that. We'll take that right to the outside of that edge. We'll make that all nice and smooth, and then we'll work on the other side too. Little repetition. Second side marked up. We'll do the same deal here, and then we'll go to work on the last one. Well, that is one side complete. Got to do the same for the other side. See if we can get this matched up here. A little bit of that. Hang on. So something like that. Now I got some flat stock to join these two pieces together. We'll do that, and then we'll go to work on the very last leg of this, and hopefully it'll come out good. Alright, well, the red line represents where the aluminum bracket stops. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to have to cut it just a hair inside that line, and then come over and mark it again. Now, because the corners are rounded from something square, I had to ease the edge there a little bit, so that takes the inside corner. And it works all right. So all I'm going to do now is knock a piece right off of there, and then we'll remark it. We'll ease all four edges. I got 3 left to do, and we'll go from there. Alright, so Got the tray floor that the cooler is going to sit on all cut out. I even checked here. If that's not at a 90-degree angle, it is so close that it will not make a difference because it'll fit. Eased all four edges. So those rounded edges are pulled back from where it is on the inside of the corner. Right there. So it fits fine now. And the only thing left to do is to take that cut a little piece of that, drill them, join them together, and then join them to that guy. Once we've got that done, we can do a little bit more drilling. We'll pull these guys out, punch those down, and those will hold that right onto the tongue of the trailer. Easy peasy. Just took a little bit of time to get here. So, went down 2 inches from the end, 4 inches from the end, 2 inches from the end there, 4 inches from the end, and then it was an odd measurement, so went 5.5 on this guy. Took me a while on the bottom. I kind of jacked up the bottom, but I did finally set it in at 5.5, so it'll come out pretty good. Drill these, and then we'll drill the aluminum supports. So that's what we're looking at the moment. Drilling time. And just like any good IKEA product, some assembly required. Now, those are nice and square, and this will be, you know, you have to pull just a little bit on this corner right here to pull it into square. But when you do that, and I'll probably start with this one here at the bottom, because once that's done, this one and this one will be lined up, and then the bottom one is much easier. But this is what I'm working with at the moment. A little entertaining, but you know, a couple of these, Phillips head screwdriver, a couple of bolts. The bolts stick through a little bit at the back, so I don't know, I may trim those when I'm done. But I am definitely using nylock nuts because I do not want this assembly to come undone when I am finished with it. It's hanging out on a camper. So 4, 3, 3, 6, 10. So 14 holes to drill in a line, and we'll be good. Where did the last nut go? That's always an exciting question. Went all day. Didn't lose a single nut. Didn't lose a single bolt. Gotta put it together. Hey, there you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, good deal. And let's see, what are we talking? We're talking same size perhaps. Ooh, just a hair bigger. Okay. But these are not nylock, so. Ooh. Well, as you can see on the time tag, it took a little bit. Whew. But it's not secured yet. The ground's a little wet, but I don't really care. Car mat here. I got good and washed today. I'll be wet as hell in just about a moment. But that beats hanging out on the driveway. So, final product. Yeah, you can see that one corner there is kind of busted up. I may have to put a brace on there. And that's just a hair off, but I've probably got to do some drilling in here anyway, because you know that is going to sit and retain water, so I have to put a couple of drain holes in there. But that's what we're talking about. Now I just got to grab the cooler, and we'll see where the cooler fits with that, because the front of the trailer pokes in this way just a little bit. So we'll grab the cooler and see how that works out. Whew. Another thing I really dread, dragging all this back in the house. Yeah, I guess these I didn't need this time, but you know, we'll find them useful somewhere else, I'm sure. Simple fender washers. And the project would not have been possible. I was sponsored by this guy. That's one of the best pieces of gear I got from Craftsman. You know, got that stand from Boomstick. But he and I have gotten a lot of good use out of this, and it proved itself again tonight. So, and I can see lots more metal shavings. So I'll take care of those, head on in the house, and get to putting some video together. Talk to you guys later.